To remove the lacquer that's on these pipes, or even some pipes that were made, I don't know, in the 60s or so, I use this stuff called citrus strip, and I get it at Home Depot. I'm sure hardware stores throughout the world will have it, and you just take and apply it. I can't do it one-handed holding this camera, but just spin the lathe and put this on there and leave it on for about 5 minutes, and then I'll show you what it does. It comes off pretty easily. What I typically do is put the stripper on all the pieces. It takes about 5 minutes to do that, which is about how long you need to let the stripper set for it to work its magic. And then before I turn the lathe on, I'll spin this and take this stuff off. So it'll take off most of it. If I turn the lathe on, a bunch of this wet stuff will come flying off at me. So I'm going to take it off by hand, and then I'll show you, I should be able to show you with the lathe on how to get more of it off. So I've got most of the wet stuff off, and I'll do some of this right now by hand, one-handed. And I use this toothbrush with stiff bristles to get the majority of it out from inside of the combing. Then what I do is I go over it with the lathe on in a paper towel. And I won't be able to show you one-handed, but I'll use some of this heavier duty white hemp and go in between each of the teeth of the combs. That cleans all of that junk out of there. You can see some pretty big pieces that still haven't come off down here where it was on extra thick. So I'll end up putting another coat. I usually have to do 2 coats anyways on every piece. So that's how that's an experiment. But these 2 pieces here, you can see the one on the right, I've taken the lacquer off, and it already makes the pipe look better. This looks quite a lot like cocos wood now, even though it's obviously not, it's too light. But again, not bad looking wood at all, and the craftsmanship is pretty good on it, I think. So I'm going to take the lacquer off of all of them and then do an ammonia bath. I'm going to try this piece right here, an ammonia bath first, to see what happens to it. It will hopefully darken it. I don't want it to make the color look different, just darker. That's kind of sounds stupid, but I'd hate for it to change it to an odd color, which I don't think it will, because the ammonia reacts with the tannins in the wood and darkens it up. You can do that with a lot of wood. Like if you have African blackwood that's brand new and you want it to look really black, get rid of the brown in it, you do an ammonia bath. Same with cocobolo. It gets rid of all the figuring in the cocobolo and makes it dark in about 8 hours. For those interested in how you do an ammonia bath, you need about a 5-gallon bucket, a small bowl, and some regular just cleaning ammonia. I'm going to take this and put a little bit at the bottom of this bowl. I'm going to put about 1/2 inch or so. I've got my 1 piece in here right now. Eventually, if I like the color, I'll put all of them in here at once. Take this ammonia, put it in here. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure the ammonia was still good, which is sniffing it, probably not the smartest thing to do, but it does burn the nose hairs out, gets rid of the little spider legs hanging out of the nostrils. And then after this, right here, you need to cover it, and I'll use a plastic wrap, and then I'll put a towel across the top of it, because my plastic wrap never seems to seal along this edge very well. And then the fumes from the ammonia will fill up the bucket and darken that wood. So take a look at it in about 8 hours from now. So it's only been in the ammonia bath for about 3 hours, and I think it's gotten dark enough. This looks a lot like lead wood or cocos wood. I might leave it in for another hour just to get it a little bit darker, maybe to the color of this dark stripe that's right in the middle. But I don't want to try and turn it black because I don't think it will go all the way black. All right, I've left it in for about another hour or so, and I think it's pretty nice as far as the color goes. So about 4.5 hours. Kind of looks like cocos wood. It needs to be polished up, and it's obviously not cocos wood because it's pretty light. So I'm going to do some stuff to hopefully make the wood a little bit more dense. Here's the wood after the ammonia bath. You can see all the pieces darkened up quite nicely. They look pretty good. The one tenor stock, this one right here, didn't darken up as much as the rest of them. This one was in the ammonia bath for 2 days. So, but I don't think it really stands out too much that it's lighter. I mean, being right next to this one, which is darker than all the rest, it really stands out, but I don't think it's too bad. So there's that. And I think I showed in another video that I gave the tenor tops and the base top a little bit of a belly because they were really wide in this area. And then I also reduced the diameter leading to the chord guides and did some dual scribe lines to occupy this big space right here that had nothing before. So that's that. I'll see if I can't get a picture of these before and after, I guess, the ammonia bath. My next step is I'm going to impregnate one of these tenor base bottoms. I think it's the one I'm going to pick. And I want to do a weight on it before and then after doing the impregnating to find out whether this gets to a better density, because I believe this wood is, I believe it's pronounced shisham, and it is not denser than water. It's close. Some of the dense pieces are close to being denser than water, but pretty much all bagpipe wood is denser than water, at least Highland pipes are. So they'll have a gravity that causes them to sink in water, whereas this pipe would float in water. So I think that's part of the problem with Pakistani pipes too, is that it's so porous, it will take on a lot of moisture while you're blowing and cause the diameters of the bores to shrink, which will make it very hard for them to stay in tune. So I think with impregnating this, it will fill all the pores in, make it feel more like a heavier pipe, so it'll feel a little bit better quality wood, and it'll hopefully stop any moisture from getting into the wood and causing ongoing tuning issues as you have a practice session. So we'll check in next week and see what progress I've made.